Hospitality has evolved from rooms to brands to now becoming real estate products. But here's the real question. Are we actually building a stronger industry or just packaging it better? Today on Accelerate, I'm joined by someone who has seen this evolution from the inside across markets, cycles, and continents. Dimitris, welcome.
Thank you very much. Lovely to be here. Accelerate. I love it.
Thank you. So before we get into the industry, I want to start with you. You've spent decades, though you look a decade old, that's it, right?
Yeah.
You spent decades in hospitality across multiple markets. What's the one moment in your career that fundamentally changed how you look at this business?
Wow, I think, funny enough, I think it was COVID. What happened in the hospitality industry, I don't know if you're aware, but the hospitality industry was the industry that didn't actually live up to technology, or was the industry that actually developed technology at a very basic level. So we're not fast enough to accelerate our technology. What happened at COVID, we ended up doing more technological advancements and new ideas than decades before. So those 3 years of COVID, we did more things about technology in our industry than before. And the other thing that happened after COVID, especially after COVID, is that people changed completely the way they travel. The habits changed, what they wanted from travel actually changed. And one fundamental thing that happened that really excited me the most, what was the first thing that we've done when we allowed to go out, travel? Travel is a human right. It has proven to everybody that the main thing that we were missing was travel. So suddenly, everyone around us realized the value of travel. And to me, that was a hugely fundamental change that happened in our industry. We had more people traveling than ever before in the history of humanity. We had more people spending money on travel rather than commercial goods. So COVID really threatened our industry, but at the same time, accelerated the value of what we represent as a business.
Great. So, like we say in the industry, the weakest point became
our strength.
Strong.
Absolutely. Because we are the industry that connects people, and that's what we miss. And that's what everybody realizes after COVID. Let's go out, let's meet, let's travel, let's gain new experiences. So for me, that was the biggest change that I've seen in the 35 years I've been in this industry.
You said something very interesting, and I'm probably going off script here, but you said you're the industry that connects people. And interestingly enough, I was watching Elon Musk's interview the other day, and he said that in about 10, 20 years, jobs will no longer exist, right? Robotic, humanoids, these things will be taken over by AI. However, the experiential space, and that's one of the reasons why we created Accelerate, the experiential space will grow because human connection will become more sacrosanct, which we take for granted today, right? So do you really believe that's going to happen?
Look, I give you a personal story. So my daughter, I've got two daughters. My second daughter graduated from university, and then she went a master's. She did a master's in hospitality. And I said, "Oh, why have you chosen hospitality? What was the drive? Was it because of me and because you saw it in our house?" She said, "No, Dad. I made a list of all the businesses and jobs that they will disappear because of AI and technology. The only one that didn't fit in that description was hospitality."
Wow.
Because you will lose paralegal, you will lose, translators, you will lose so many different jobs, as Elon Musk rightly or wrongly says. The one that will never change is the human component of hospitality. And she said, if I am a young graduate and I'm at the age of 25, 26, which is the industry and the job that I really want to grow for the future? The industry that still needs human connection, and that is hospitality.
Amazing.
And when she actually told me that, I realized, I'm like, wow, the young population today, they feel threatened about how technology is going to change their lives. So they're doing a very calculative assessment. Where do I need to be if I want to have a job in the next 10 years? And hospitality comes on the top. I think, to me, that was the best the best example why I still believe when I speak to the young students and I go to universities, you are at the right job. It's easy. It's not easy. It's tough.
Yeah.
Sacrifices, long hours, and you spend a lot of your personal time, but it's worth it.
Amazing. So basically, while we are counting our days, you're in glory days. Yeah.
I think no. I mean, look, all this, they're far better minds than mine, and they're far more successful. Bill Gates said, I remember during COVID, he said, business travel is dead. Is it dead? It's not dead.
Absolutely not.
Elon Musk says that certain jobs will disappear. He might be right, he might be wrong.
Yeah.
But the thing that I know is the more technology isolates us from the world, the more important hospitality becomes.
Great.
So we're in the right business.
And so with that, I want to start the first section. This entire podcast is split into 3 sections, so we'll keep it short. So the first one is called the globalization of hospitality living. Okay. First question is around the reality versus the narrative. Everyone talks about emerging markets and future growth. But where is the money actually being made today? And where is it just narrative?
So, look, first of all, it is true that there are new markets that are developing across the world, right? I'll give you an example. In the CIS region, you see these mega projects coming up. You see these wonderful new cities being developed. The world is changing, and it's changing fast. How? Infrastructure. Look at India. I go to India 6 times a year. The change that is happening in India the last 10 years because of the infrastructure development is phenomenal. They've got, I think I'm mistaken if I say they've got about 1,000 or more cities that have a population of more than 300,000 people.
Oh, absolutely.
Think about this. Think how the world is changing and where the money is made today, right? They're currently developing 50 airports.
Yep.
50 airports. From a Wyndham perspective, I've seen the development that is happening in the CIS, in Georgia, in Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan. It's just phenomenal. We tend to talk about the mature markets like the Spains, the Portugals, the Italies or Greece or Turkey, but there you see where the new development is happening, both from an investment perspective, infrastructure perspective, and making money perspective. If you look at the Chinese investment, again, in the CIS, the whole Silk Road that they're building, that changes fundamentally the way people are going to develop their business in the next 10 years. Infrastructure development, new resources, minerals, oil, gas, and we've seen what is happening recently with oil. This is how it is fundamentally going to change the future of a lot of new countries and new markets that are actually coming up. So it's very exciting times, as long as you can tell where the next big thing is.
Mm-hmm. And I hope you just told us, yeah? The CIS in India, for sure.
Definitely, I see it from our perspective. We're growing in India like big time, and CIS is the next big thing for us.
Awesome. The second question is brand versus reality, okay? Now, let's be honest, in many projects today, the brand ends up being just a logo on the building, okay? And we just spoke about one of those. Where do you draw the line between real brand value and just brand licensing?
You know what? And I worked in a branded environment most of my life. You know where I see the value of a brand is 2 things. When my father was buying cars, every time he wanted to buy a new car, and he used to tell me and my brother, you gotta shut the door and listen to the noise that the door makes. If it is a solid, strong noise, that's the car you wanna buy. And I said, oh, what do you mean? Security and safety. I think this is what the brands represent today. There's a lot of talk about lifestyle, and I think there's a lot of noise around that. For me, when I go somewhere and I trust a brand and I take my 2 kids and my wife, I wanna feel safe and I wanna feel secure. And safety is not just about, health and safety. It's about how safe I am with that brand, how safe I am with the delivery and the service promise. When I buy a car, why do I buy, a German car versus an Italian car, or Italian car versus a Spanish, whatever. It's the perception that I have about safety, security, brand value. That's what I think a brand brings. It's not a lot of people, they use the brand as, it's the pride of ownership, or feeling that if I stay at the next brand, I am far better than the guy who stays at the LZ brand. No, for every single person, when they make a decision, a purchase decision, because that's what hospitality is about, they have their own reasons why they do it. Some people stay in a mid-scale brand, some people stay in a luxury brand. What is important the last few years at hospitality, in the past, we used to put people in boxes and say, Dimitris and his family, they only travel this way. That was wrong. 1 week I can be in a camping site. Next week I can be in a 5-star deluxe hotel. One day I can fly with a low-cost airline. The other day can I fly with a business class in British Airways. Don't put people in boxes anymore. Give them something they want for the time that they want it and at the price level that they're looking for.
Okay.
That's how the world has changed. Don't put people in boxes, and people don't behave the same way that they used to. They change their behaviors based on circumstances.
Great. Now we segue into two different kinds of people, the developer and the buyer. So when it comes to branded residences, who do you think they are more beneficial for? For developers or for buyers?
First of all, for the developer is access to capital, right? I mean, it's important. In the last few years, I see more and more hotels getting into branded residences and brands because now hospitality is becoming a real estate play.
Yeah.
Real estate and hospitality now they're like this. So for the developer is access to cash flow, access to new type of buyers who are really brand driven. For the buyer, I think it's again safety, security, ease of mind, plus familiarity.
Right.
Familiarity. Let's take China, for example, right? In China, we've got hundreds and hundreds of hotels. When a Chinese buyer comes to Dubai to buy a branded residence under the name of X, and they have that brand in their city, they feel far more comfortable to buy with the brand that they are recognized and they realize. So sometimes you will be surprised, but the buyer and the developer, they have exactly the same objectives. Different times, but same objectives. Security, safety, familiarity, access to, for the buyer, a better price, for the developer, better cash flow. So I don't think the two worlds are so completely separate. Actually, they two come together in many different ways.
Very interesting perspective. Now, with regard to Wyndham in this, now Wyndham, of course, I know that you're seeing real momentum in certain pockets, right?
Yeah.
But which segment is it in? Is it in traditional hospitality? Is it in branded residences? Or is it in some third category that we don't know?
No, look, we are a hospitality company, right? That's what we do. We have 25 great brands. We have a great presence in so many different countries. We got into branded residences by not by default, by realizing that there was a gap. When every time I was talking to people about branded residences, they were talking to me about luxury. Luxury. I said, okay, what about the 80% of the world that doesn't belong in that luxury space? They might be interested in something like that. And we got into the mid-scale and economy, but especially mid-scale, and we saw a lot of interest because people realize that yes, there is a component of buyers that they can afford very expensive, luxurious branded residences, but there's a group of people, which is huge, that they can only afford a mid-scale product. And this is how we got in. We started with our Wyndham and Ramada residences, and now gradually we're moving into other brands because we see an opportunity and we see a lot of response from developers who are realizing that branded residences and leisure real estate, it's not exclusive. it's inclusive.
Yeah.
It's not exclusive to the wealthy, the sexy, and the cool population of this world. It's actually inclusive to the middle class. That's why if you look at cars, we talk about cars, you see an BMW X5, X6, but you see an X1, X2, and X3.
Absolutely, yeah.
Why? Because there is a certain market for that, and there is a certain market for the others. That's where we saw as an opportunity, and that's why we are in this business today. And we're very excited about it.
And I think there's a very interesting lifestyle play as well, which we'll talk about later. The next one is about the ecosystem piece. So as hospitality becomes part of a larger real estate ecosystem now with branded residences, how do you ensure projects create long-term value instead of just being a transactional tool for a successful launch?
Look, first of all the brands, and there are some amazing brands from some of our colleagues in the industry. We've been in the industry for many years, right? So there's continuity, there is innovation, there is technology. Second, there are brands that they are part of people's lives. You know, there are certain brands in consumers that they are part of their lives, right? Look at my region, for example. I've got about 750 hotels in my region, in 45 countries. 50% of those are Ramadas. Every city has almost a Ramada. That's part of consumers' life. Yeah. So the fact that we have a long-term play in hospitality, it actually translates in a long-term play in branded residences. So I don't see it as a kind of like a short play. Hospitality is a long-term play game. And all the brands, or the majority of the brands, they've been around for many years. And that's what really excites me in our industry, that we're not in for an easy buck, as they say, or for an easy gain. We look at this business as a long-term business, because hospitality has been around for 2,000 years. So, and we are going to stay for thousands of years more.
I mean, absolutely. And when we recommend to developers going with a hospitality brand, we know that there is real value behind it, and there is real long-term value. Correct. Throughout the lifetime of the project. Correct. Not just for a launch.
No. Okay. It's about familiarity, security, safety. Again, exactly the same things than when you buy a car or anything that you buy these days. You need to feel that you're making the right choice.
Okay, Dimitris. Now we move into the next section, which is called the next decade, right? So the first question here is about the future of hospitality. Okay. So if I were to challenge this, will hotels even exist in the same form 10 years from now? Okay. Or there's this buzz phrase these days, or are we moving towards something called living platforms? 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, 10 years from today, who knows? But I'll tell you what is one thing for sure. Hotels are not just a place to sleep anymore. Hotels are becoming part of the community. They're part of an ecosystem. So that's one. Second, and equally important, is hotels are now a place where people work, sleep, meet, eat, flirt, socialize, getting married. In the past, hotels, people were thinking of hotels, oh, I'm going to go for a week, I'm going to have a holiday, and that's it. Or I'm going to stay for a couple of days on a business trip. Now hotels are becoming more and more of this, right? If you go into hotel lobby these days, you see people working, you see people eating, people watching a movie, people playing a video game. We're becoming part of the community. That again is a major change that happened after COVID. Mm-hmm. The other thing that you'll see more and more in hotels, the more technology isolates us, the more we need to spend time together. Mm. And hotels, restaurants, bars are becoming that place. That place that you want to be seen, you want to go and see other people. You have so many people now in Europe that they work from home.
Yeah.
Where do they go to socialize? They go to a restaurant, they go to a bar, they go to a hotel. So gradually we are becoming more and more a place to do so many different things than just sleep. And that to me is where the future of hospitality is. Look, and again, I've served this industry for 35 years. Is it any different to when I started my business? I mean, fundamentally, no.
Okay.
I mean, what has been a huge difference in hotels in the last 35 years? Technology, yes. Co-living, co-sharing, yes. The way that we see the lobbies, yes. But fundamentally, hotels have been around for so many hundreds and hundreds of years, and they continue to be. Are they going to change? Of course they're going to change. Are we going to have new brands, new ideas? Again, cars, hybrid, plug-in hybrid, electric, diesel. Of course, the same will happen to hotels. But as long as we need the car, we're going to need a hotel. The basic idea of hospitality will remain intact. It will have variations, but it will remain a very important component of people's lives.
So the next question is on the same lines. Is innovation really fast-paced in the hospitality industry, or you think the industry is fairly complacent?
I said it before when we started our conversation. We were the industry the slowest to adopt technology. The slowest. During COVID, that changed a lot. Now, technology is becoming part of our lives. We were worried about how technology is gonna influence our lives, but now more and more we're adapting technology. And look at how technology is gonna change our lives. Food waste, sustainability, knowing more about the customer, giving people the ability to do more creative things in just plugging your details on a laptop or using a keyboard the moment you check in. The moment we use technology and we understand the value that technology can bring, our industry can benefit tremendously. But the mistake that we should never make is thinking that technology will replace humans. Because you see, if you're a young kid today, and we as an industry, we oversell how technology is going to change our industry, why should you come and work for hospitality if you're thinking that you're going to be replaced by a bot or a robot? No. Use technology to improve products, services, and what technology can offer, but always remember, people come to hotels to interact with other people. That will never change. And that's the winning formula versus so many other industries. You can have a driverless car, but a hotel with no people, it will be a very boring place or a very horrible place. Some people might like it, but I think the majority of people go to hotels to interact with other humans.
I mean, I saw these new things come up, I don't know where, somewhere in the Far East, where you have self-check-ins, you have these robots serving you stuff in the restaurant.
There is a group of people that they might like that. But I can tell you the majority wants to interact with other humans.
On the back of that, Dimitris, do you think since human connection will become so important increasingly, do you think hotels will become more experiential spaces? We also discussed about this whole wellness concept. Do you think this is something that will catch on over the next 10 years?
It will.
Kind of going more backwards than forwards?
It will. But think about the reasons why people travel, right? You've got a guy who works in the United States, let's say, right? And he works in a data center. And he's building a data center. What does he want? He wants a good night's sleep, a breakfast, go to his business, come back, and that's it. He doesn't look for experiences. He doesn't look for anything. He just wants a good night's sleep in an economy hotel with the right price so he can go the next day and work at building a data set. You have a family of 4 that goes on a holiday. What do they want? They want experiences for their kids. They wanna see something different. You've got a solo travelers, one of the fastest growing segment of hospitality, solo travelers. What do they want? They want to mingle with other people. They want social connection. You've got another guy who travels for medical reasons. Don't put travelers in one box. People travel for hundreds of different reasons. The beauty about our business is we've got brands and we've got hotels that actually reflect every single traveler. At Wyndham, we say we make travel possible for all. For the family of four that travels on holidays, for the guy who's building a data center, for a guy who's just going there for a medical reasons. As long as you have products for everybody, then you're in the right business. Do not put travelers in one box. So yes, experiences. If I work on a data center, building a data center somewhere in the heart of the United States, why do I care about experiences? I want a good price, a good breakfast, a good night's sleep, and I go to my job the next day. Do I want experiences? No. But when I travel with my family, I might be looking for experiences. So that whole, don't box that. That whole experiences thing is getting a bit out of hand.
Okay.
That's my feeling.
Okay. So last segment, and this is called rapid fire. Okay. 10 questions. You tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
Oh, wow.
No safe answers.
Okay. No.
Okay. Now for this, I need to get ready.
Okay. I need to get ready because I didn't know you're gonna ask me that.
Okay. Some of them could be just one word.
Okay.
Right? So the first one. One market people are getting completely wrong right now.
Market in terms of destination,
Yeah.
Southeast Asia.
They're getting it wrong.
They're getting wrong because they believe that Southeast Asia is written off because of the challenges that you've got with oil and expensive long haul. I think Southeast Asia is a market that will never lose out of sight and will never be out of sight. And the Asian hospitality in general is winning by far what we're doing in the West. Asian hospitality, for me, has transformed the way that experiences work in hospitality. So that is a market that I'm really hopeful about the future.
Okay. Second, one market you would double down on today.
Double down in terms of
Investments,
people. Look, I think
or hotels.
I think Europe is going through a phase at the moment that we need to relook at the future. We need to relook at the way we interpreted hospitality. We need to relook at investments in hospitality. And in general, I think we need to reinvent the Western hospitality again. I think if you look at India, if you look at Dubai, you look at Southeast Asia, my personal view is we lose hands down by the way they interpreted hospitality. Only in Europe, we've got 600,000 jobs that we need to fill, and we cannot fill them. And I think that this is the biggest challenge that we've got in Western hospitality.
Okay. The third one, a trend in hospitality you think is overhyped.
Lifestyle.
Okay.
Too much talk.
No, all fluff.
No, I mean, it's not all fluff because there are some, but what lifestyle means?
Yeah.
Your lifestyle is different than mine.
Yeah.
You know what lifestyle really means. So I think it's overrated.
Okay. If a project fails, is it usually the brand's fault or the developers?
I think it's both. It's the developer because he has to deliver a brand promise, and then it's the brand that didn't deliver the promise that they've given to the developer. So I think most of the time it's actually both.
Okay. Brand or service, what actually drives long-term value?
I'm gonna take a risk here, and I would say service. Brands are amazing. I work for an amazing company with some really great brands and some amazing brands out there. But if you don't deliver the service, the brands become meaningless.
Good. You're warming up. I want you to take more risks.
Okay.
Okay. One leadership trait that matters the most in uncertain times.
Mindset. 100% mindset. If you're not in the right mindset, you've lost the game from the offset. In crisis, mindset is very important.
Okay. What's the biggest lie the hospitality industry is telling itself?
That we've got all the answers of what the customers are looking for. For years and years and years, we've been building systems to understand the customer better, and we just realized that we don't even know the basics of our customers. So we need to understand the customer more.
So the customer is evolving way faster than the industry.
The customer is evolving, and we thought that we understand the customer and their needs, but actually we don't. AI and technology will help us, but at the moment, I don't think we know as much as we need to know to service that customer in a better way.
Okay. One risk the industry is not talking about enough.
One risk that the industry is sustainability. It would be the industry's biggest mistake and biggest risk at the same time if we take the sustainability conversation out of center stage. We talk about technology and AI now everywhere. I have seen sustainability kind of leaving the center stage. That would be the biggest mistake that we've ever made. Sustainability should be the core of what we do as an industry.
And why do you say that?
Because A, we need to give back to the planet more than we take. B, our job is to preserve what this planet is all about. And at the same time, the more and more the young generation becomes sustainable cautious, if we don't have a story and we don't have the right narrative, we won't have customers that are gonna buy our products because they will believe that we're not listening to them the way that that we should be listening to them. Sustainability should be in the core of what we do as a business.
Amazing. Okay, one metric you personally track more than anything else.
EQ, emotional intelligence, the way you connect with your team, the way you connect with your clients in every phase of your business. If you don't have emotional connection, especially in today's world with technology, you're losing big time in your future opportunities.
Okay, if not hospitality, what else would you be doing?
I would sell ice cream. Okay. I would sell ice cream. I think I remember the best memories of my youth when you were not born yet, but I remember we had the ice cream car. They would come in my neighborhood, and there was a little bell that it would ring the ice cream. Everybody loves the guy who sells ice cream. So I would love to sell ice cream.
To be the guy who's loved.
I wanna do a business. I wanna be in a business that everybody loves to do. And I think selling ice cream, tell me one person that doesn't love the guy who sells ice cream.
I don't know of anyone.
Bravo, exactly.
So the final one. In a world that's moving fast with shifting expectations, new markets, and a lot of noise, what's the one principle that you believe will always remain true in your industry?
The human connection. The human connection. Remember, we've said it so many times. Our industry would be an empty cell if it wasn't for the love of humanity. I talked to a lot of graduates and said, look, if you don't love people, go do something else. This business, you need to love people to be in this business. And if you don't, you're in the wrong business, especially when you're client facing.
Brilliant. So we started with human connections and we're closing with human connections.
But that's what it's all about, right? That's my best memories as a kid when we used to go to certain places that my dad would allow us to connect. And that's what it was all about. My dad was a very hardworking individual. We rarely see him, but those 10 days that we would go on holidays, we connected as a family. We connected with the people around us. It was the best memories that we had. And I provoke you, if you open your phone, 70% of the photos that you've got is actually on a bar, on a restaurant, on a hotel, or in a hospitality venue that you connect with your friends and your family. So that gives you the answer why we are in the right business.
So you know my deep, dirty secrets of my phone.
100%. I don't know what the other 30 are, but the 70% I bet you is hospitality related, where you connect with your friends and your family.
Absolutely. That was Dimitris Manikis.
That was very good. Good.
Yes.
Good try.
That was Dimitris Manikis, President EMEA at Wyndham Hotels and Resorts. If there's one thing that stands out it's that hospitality was never really about rooms. It was always about human connections.
Correct.
This is Accelerate, where we try and go beyond the noise and into conversations that shape what's next.
And let's accelerate hospitality to places to open markets and new destinations,
And create more human connections.
and create more human connections. Lovely to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.